Since the 2015 Iran nuclear deal was signed, the United Nations atomic watchdog, the IAEA, has been clear that the deal subjects Iran to the world's most robust regime of inspections.
We have had access to all locations that we needed to visit.
But President Trump disagreed. He cited the access issue when he pulled out of the deal earlier this month.
The deal's inspection provisions lack adequate mechanisms to prevent, detect, and punish cheating.
John Bolton, Trump's national security advisor, echoed that sentiment in an interview with VOA contributor Greta Van Susteren.
We entered the deal without knowing anything other than what our own intelligence had given us on Iran's military program. And the IAEA simply didn't have adequate provisions for inspections.
Those comments could make for a tense discussion when UN Chief Antonio Guterres visits the White House Friday. Guterres had urged Trump to stay in the deal and expressed deep concern when the U.S. left. It also raises the question of how much, if at all, the U.S. will rely on the IAEA in nuclear talks with North Korea, says former IAEA inspector Robert Kelly.
My guess is that John Bolton is not going to turn to the United Nations and the IAEA and say, go do this job. Bolton has a long history of not liking the United Nations, of making strong statements about it, and not particularly liking the IAEA.
Bolton, who served as the U.S. ambassador at the UN under President George W. Bush, once said if the UN headquarters in New York lost 10 stories, it wouldn't make a bit of difference. If the U.S. is hesitant to involve international organizations in a possible North Korea deal, there are groups within the U.S. defense and energy departments that could theoretically do the job, Kelly says.
And those people are prepared to go. They're prepared to go on a moment's notice. They're probably packing the gear right now.
It's far from certain what Trump will ultimately decide. One hint came last week when a senior U.S. official said despite Washington pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal, it still expects the IAEA to continue their inspections of Iran's nuclear sites. Bill Gallo, VOA News, Washington.